CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Yamamoto in for Ann. We begin with family members in the community calling for justice 5 years after a man, Stephen Taylor, was shot by a San Leandro police officer and died. Much of the group at the rally today was made up of young people from the Social Justice Academy. They gathered outside the courthouse in Oakland, where a judge is set to decide whether to keep the voluntary manslaughter case against Officer Jason Fletcher in Alameda County or send it to the state attorney general's office. Taylor's grandmother thanked the group for supporting her every step of the way. She says she is not stopping.
But wherever the case is going, I'm going, and we will figure it out. So we're hoping that wherever it's going, that justice will be served.
That incident happened back in 2020 at the Walmart on Hesperian Boulevard. Dispatchers got a call of a man committing a robbery and wielding a bat. Fletcher was the first to respond, and the situation escalated quickly, first with the use of a taser, then the officer's gun. Fletcher pleaded not guilty to a voluntary manslaughter charge in July of 2021. We are still waiting for the results in the tight mayoral race in Oakland between former city council member Lauren Taylor and former Congresswoman Barbara Lee. The Alameda County registrars of voters will update those numbers in the special election that will happen around 5 p.m. today. There are enough outstanding ballots to tip this race either way, so let's break it down for you. Here's the overview of the race right now. Lauren Taylor has a slight lead over Barbara Lee, 48 to 45%, but there are at least 40,000 ballots still out. That's enough votes to put either candidate over the top with more than 50% of the vote. That would avoid the need to rely on the results from Oakland's ranked choice voting. But this is what the ranked choice results look like as of right now. Taylor's lead jumps slightly after 9 rounds of tabulations, but again, we could have a better idea on the race when the numbers are updated later today around 5 p.m. Well, an update on the Santa Clara County's VTA strike. 3 of the 4 transit unions have ratified a new 4-year deal, includes a 14% raise, better benefits, and improved workplace policies. The Transit Authority also says it will issue credits to anyone who prepaid for monthly or annual passes but could not use them during the strike. Several Bay Area school districts now facing their own potential teachers' strikes. Oakland teachers are voting on whether to authorize a one-day strike next month. The union says the dispute centers on the administration's lack of transparency about the school district's finances, specifically for job cuts. The district says it is committed to open communication as it tries to address a $95 million budget deficit. If a strike is authorized, it would start on May 1st. And talks continue in Fremont aimed at avoiding a teacher strike there. The teachers union says it agrees with some of the recommendations from a neutral fact-finding report, and the school district says it is ready to settle based on those same recommendations. But according to the union, the two sides are still at odds over class sizes and compensation. Well, 119 years ago today, a 7.9 quake rocked San Francisco. The 1906 quake was one of the most devastating earthquakes of all time. The disaster killed more than 3,000 people, ignited fires that destroyed thousands of homes and buildings. Veronica Macias reports from Market Street, where the heroes and the victims at that day are being honored.
This morning, as the community in San Francisco came together to remember the thousands of lives lost after the 1906 earthquake in San Francisco, there was a message of optimism and a reminder that this city knows how to bounce back from tough times. The commemoration ending this morning here at this golden fire hydrant at Dolores Park at 20th and Church. This golden fire hydrant, known as the Little Giant back then, helped put out devastating fires following the earthquake. The commemoration events ending here with a reminder that back in 1906, as firefighters rushed to help people, they were also in need, a chief engineer being one who lost his life, dying knowing that the city was clamoring for water. Today, San Franciscans were also assured that the city and its guardians are prepared for the next major earthquake, and the city continues to expand its water auxiliary system.
San Francisco, open your golden gate, don't let no stranger wait outside your door.
Commemorations started at Loda's Fountain when in 1906, after that earthquake, and the fires in the city, the fountain served as a meeting place for survivors. There was people coming together, helping one another stay safe and forming community. Today, that fountain serving as a beacon of hope and a reminder for people in San Francisco that it's possible to bounce back after tough times. A message of optimism delivered by the mayor of San Francisco and emergency department leaders.
We've gone through some tough times recently, but just like what happened in the aftermath of the 1906 earthquake, this city is coming together right now. It is a new day in San Francisco. We are working together, supervisors, department heads, first responders, because we know that when we're at our best, we're the greatest city in the world.
In 1909, the city and county of San Francisco constructed a fantastic auxiliary water supply system that we still use today, and we're continuously building it out into our Sunset and Richmond neighborhoods and the southeast parts of the city. We are very proud of that.
I am the great-great-granddaughter of one of the neighbors in the Mission District who helped fight the fire. They helped the firefighters pull the water pumpers up to this mighty hydrant in 1906. And I think it's important that we all remember that individuals, people who are impacted by these disasters can also have a part.
The mayor this morning also reminding people that since he's taken office, the city has had a tsunami warning. And the reminder this morning is that the San Andreas Fault does not rest. We don't know when the next big one will be, and it's important for you and your family to have a plan and to be prepared.
Okay, a first alert weather right now. A foggy and cloudy start on our Friday in many spots. Now looking outside, you can see a beautiful day out there. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Just around lunchtime today, those clouds pull back along the coast, exposing all of us to sunshine. And then we're just seeing cloudy conditions along the peninsula until around 2, 3, 4 o'clock. At that point, even our coastline is dealing with nice, warm, sunny conditions. And heading into this afternoon, the only thing to mention, we're getting some gustier winds pushing in from offshore. If you have plans of doing a coastal run or just getting out there and getting some fresh air, keep in mind we could see wind gusts up to around 25 miles per hour by dinner time tonight in areas like San Francisco, stretched all the way over into Concord and up into Napa too. You take a look at the next 7 days. This is what we're gearing up for. Sunny skies this afternoon, lasting into this weekend's forecast and early next week for our inland areas. We have upper 70s turning into lower 80s as early as Monday, the day after Easter. So we're in store for such a beautiful and warm forecast. You make your way over into the bay. Okay, a little bit cooler, a little bit cloudier, but not by much. I mean, we're still going to be exposed to sunshine each afternoon. We're just seeing partly cloudy skies in the mornings for Saturday and Sunday. By Monday, if you have that day off after Easter, it's going to be a stunning one to get outside and get some fresh air.
Well, investigators are still trying to piece together clues after yesterday's mass shooting at Florida State University. Today, students were allowed back on the FSU campus student union to retrieve their belongings after being forced to abandon them around lunchtime yesterday. That's when the shooting was reported and the campus alert went out. Now 2 people are dead and a suspect is under arrest. Another 6 people are in the hospital. The suspect is the son of a sheriff's deputy. Police say 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner committed the violence with a handgun that used to be the deputy's service weapon. Secretary of State Marco Rubio signaled the U.S. could walk away from trying to broker a Russia-Ukraine peace deal if progress is not made very soon. Natalie Brand has the details from the White House.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. could move on from efforts to reach a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia if progress isn't made in coming days.
We are now reaching a point where we need to decide and determine whether this is even possible or not.
Secretary Rubio made the comments leaving France, where he traveled for negotiations with European counterparts. Senator Chris Van Hollen returns from El Salvador today, where he traveled to try to secure the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The Maryland Democrat posted pictures of a meeting with Abrego Garcia, who's being held in a notorious prison in El Salvador after an administrative error led to his deportation there.
The White House called the lawmakers' visit, quote, disgusting, alleging Abrego Garcia is an MS-13 gang member. And while the courts have said that the administration must facilitate Abrego Garcia's return, the administration says it's up to El Salvador.
Still ahead at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, a new and environmental-friendly way to enjoy wine. Meet the local winemakers doing away with glass bottles and the honor it received from the royal family. Here's a live look outside before we head to the break. You can see a little cloudy and hazy in the city, but A warm-up is on tap this weekend. Jess will have a look at the forecast. Well, we got some breaking news in Morgan Hill. Police say officers shot a man at the Safeway on East Dunn Avenue earlier this morning. Chopper 5 was over the scene a short time ago, and it was an active scene there. We're told they got a call around 12:20 this morning because of some sort of disturbance. When officers arrived, they found a man who had been assaulted by another man. At some point, officers say they were forced to shoot the suspect. That man's injuries are not life-threatening. No officers were injured. In today's Project Earth, more consumers are embracing and choosing sustainable packaging. That's especially true for baby boomers, millennials, and Gen Z. Now the new wine bottles made out of recycled paper on store shelves. Our Ann Makovic looks at the vineyard using a revolutionary green technique.
With great soil and a cool climate, Monterey County is the perfect place to grow wine grapes. Here, hundreds of vineyards use environmentally friendly methods to produce exceptional vintages.
Bonnie Doon's always been a pioneer, really pushing the boundaries of sustainability and farming practices, whether that's organic, biodynamic.
Sustainability has been one of our core values since our family founded this business in 1972. We've always just believed very heavily that, you need to treat your vineyards well, your land well.
Now winemakers have a greener way to package their wine. This device created in the UK is called a frugal pack. It creates wine bottles out of recycled paper.
We describe them as a wonderful, sustainable option in the wine packaging world.
Shannon Valadares is with the Monterey Wine Company. It is the only place in the United States with a frugal pack.
The response has been excellent. I think the retailers have really stood behind this concept and said, this is what we want.
Making and transporting glass wine bottles requires a lot of fossil fuel, which creates a lot of carbon.
When you think about the weight of traditional wine bottles and that glass and what goes into making the glass, blowing the glass, transporting that glass, there's a huge carbon footprint there.
We sell to 30 countries internationally, and so having a lighter weight bottle and one that has less environmental impact is really great from start to finish.
The process starts with flat cardboard covered in art.
The wonderful thing about this bottle is the entire canvas is your label.
A plastic insert will hold the wine. The device then pinches, folds, and molds the paper into a bottle. The contraption can make up to 500 bottles an hour.
We feed the line.
Those bottles are then filled with wine and packed in boxes.
This is half the weight of a product that is made with glass.
For the winemakers, they are raising a glass.
Boy, this is awesome. I really hope that customers in the stores, that they get it, because it's kind of different.
And it's a start. It's something that we I think collectively have to be thinking about. How can we make an impact that's better for our planet?
You can now find these wines at places like Target and Whole Foods, uncorking the future of wine right here in Monterey.
Well, let's give you a live look at Chase Center. The Warriors on the road for their playoff start this Sunday against Houston. Thrive City, though, hosting a playoff watch party. Doors open at 5. Tip-off is at 6:30. It is family-friendly, and the best part, it is free 9 to 5. Back to our first alert weather right now. Let's give you a live look outside of the Golden Gate Bridge, bathed in a bit of gray and haze, a little bit cloudy out there this morning. But hey, a warm-up is coming. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Heading into this Friday forecast, we're warming up and we're drying up, and we're going to continue to see that trend heading into this weekend too. Upper 70s returning into the Bay Area, up into wine country in Santa Rosa and Napa this afternoon with sunny skies right around the corner. We had a cloudy morning, but it's beautiful now in our inland areas throughout this afternoon with upper 70s near Antioch, close to the 80s there. Low 70s down into the Santa Clara Valley, making for a very beautiful kickoff to the weekend. Now heading into this weekend, day by day, we're going to continue to warm up to the point where by next Monday, we're talking talking about 80s in our inland areas. But for now, we're just ditching the clouds into this afternoon. Areas like Redwood City already seeing sunny skies. It's along the coast that cloudy condition just is a little bit more stubborn. But we will see sunnier skies along our shoreline into the evening hours tonight. Here's what we're gearing up for when it comes to the winds. Nice and light right now, but it does get breezier with that onshore flow, kicking up to around 20, 25 miles per hour in areas like San Francisco, Napa, over into Concord into the evening hours tonight. Here's what we're looking at as we head into this Easter weekend right around the corner. Don't stress, it's going to be a beautiful one. We're expecting upper 70s in areas like the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley as early as Sunday. And that area of high pressure that's ridging its way in, that's warming us up and drying us up and giving us all the sunshine, it's sticking around as we head into early next week too. So by Monday and Tuesday of next week, we still have upper 70s and lower 80s throughout the East Bay and the North Bay, but we all cool back down into the low 60s right around the corner until late next week. You're also going to notice that for our friends along the bay. Now, it looks a little bit different for our friends along the shoreline. Of course, cooler and cloudier conditions are expected. We'll get partly cloudy skies each day along the bay, pulling back into the afternoon hours, exposing us to plenty of sunshine with upper 60s as early as next Tuesday.
Well, still ahead, a remarkable program in the Sierra giving blind individuals the opportunity to ski. Well, a sensational feeling for a group of skiers hitting the slopes at Palisades, Tahoe. As Brady Hablive shows us, they did it without being able to see.
Perfect. Buckling boots, strapping in, and gliding down the mountain is a rush skiers and snowboarders love. But for a few at Palisades, Tahoe, it's not just about the thrill. It's about trust, bravery, and something you don't see every day, but feel.
Oh, the feeling that you're doing once you're gliding down, it's amazing.
This is Robert Edwards' second time skiing. Like most other skiers, he's eager to learn and get better, but he has to do it without sight.
Never skied until I was blind, so I can't describe the feeling. It's just amazing.
Paired with a guide from Achieve Tahoe, Edwards is one of 6 skiers from Sacramento's Society for the Blind, taking part in the 6th annual Blind Ski Day.
So far, it's 2 thumbs up. Absolutely fantastic.
Ophthalmologist Dr. Christian Serdahl helps lead the program and says the returning skiers have their own unique ways of getting down the mountain. Some rely on verbal cues from guides, while others use a pole for support.
Spending a day with these folks, they're no different than you or I. I mean, they just need a little extra help to get up here. Once they're up here, they have a great time.
And it's moments like that, helping someone experience snow for the very first time, that keeps Dr. Serdahl coming back.
Many times we'll bring people up here. They've never even been in the snow before. They've never touched snow before. So you bring them up here, you see the look on their face. It's extraordinarily uplifting.
Going up and down as many times as we can.
It's a reminder that skiing takes a lot of courage for anyone. But for those doing it without sight, it takes just a little bit more.
You can all do it. Everybody can do it. Come have fun. It's absolutely amazing. I wouldn't pass it up.
Well, ever wonder what goes into those death-defying stunts in Mission Impossible movies? Coming up, the new museum exhibit showing you behind the scenes. Well, Mission Impossible movies are known for their jaw-dropping stunts, from hanging off a moving airplane to cliff dives and motorcycle jumps. Now fans can get a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to pull off those stunts at New York City's Museum of the Moving Image. New exhibit, the Mission Impossible Story and Spectacle, features short films with Tom Cruise, aka super spy Ethan Hunt, walking visitors through the step-by-step process of creating the death-defying stunts that keep them on the edge of their seats.
If you're a Mission Impossible fan, you'll recognize some of the scenes, you'll recognize some of the stunts, but you'll be able to go deeper into the story to really understand how they were planned, how they were brought to the screen, and you'll be able to do so in a gallery with other fans or other people kind of encountering the franchise for the first time.
Yeah, always remember, Tom Cruise does his own stunts. Coming also on that exhibit, costumes, masks, and props from the film series on display, along with mannequins that fly over visitors' heads. The exhibit runs through December 14th. It coincides with next month's release of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, the franchise's 8th movie. That's it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Our next newscast is at 5 o'clock. Have a great afternoon and happy Friday.